Hi everyone, and welcome back to part 4 of Symax Fintech Weekly Market Insight. Okay, so this is where we go through the technical analysis. I'm just going to show you quite a few charts and sort of where I identified support, resistance, etc., trends and such like. Before I do that, just start off and give you an idea of the chart legend. In that right hand axis, black numbers are support and resistance levels identified from trend lines. Brown numbers are breakout levels. Claret numbers, these are just horizontal lines, and it's either where I can see their support or resistance, or it's based on double or triple tops or bottoms. And then below, they are the colors for the pivot points, which is on the 30 minutes chart. Fibonacci colors are on the right. I don't think I've added any of those this week. They're generally on the day charts. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Dow. Now, the Dow had an interesting week because stocks generally sort of finished towards the highs, but the Dow closed above last April, May's and August highs of sort of last year, 2022, and it was the only index to do so in the US, that is. Now, the big question is going to be, when the markets reopen, will they drop after the First Republic Bank failed? So when we look at the daily at the moment, I've got resistance at 34,270, 34,233, and I've also put in the previous sort of resistance level, which is below where it closed at 34,031. That was that high that I just sort of mentioned to you from April, May and August last year. So, is it going to be a little bit of a retest there? Is it going to bounce from it, or is it going to break through? And then on the support side, I've got 33,438. Below that, I've got 32,988 as a breakout, and also 31,333 as a breakout. The breakout levels are support, but if it gets through there, then basically I'm expecting that to then just keep going. It would mean that the sellers have got control of the market. But again, we're going to have to wait and see how they open first. Now, on the 30 minute, I've got resistance at 34,247, and I've got support at 33,945, and I've got a further breakout on the downside at 33,745. The breakout, remember, are just in the brown line, so it just gives you a bit more of an idea. Moving on to the S&P. Just to sort of demonstrate that the rest of the indices haven't got that high, the same as the Dow has, and I've put it in there at 43.02 because that is a major level for me if it gets back up there. I hope it does, really, because I've got a strategy in mind for when it does, but that's sort of where it finds its resistance. It certainly did in April, May and August last year. And below that, I've got resistance at 41.98 with support at 38.09. On the 30 minute, I've got resistance 41.92, support at 41.86, but again I put that in as a brown line because I think that could get broken straight away, and then at 41.36, and if you look at it, it pretty much closed on R1 on Friday, and it held very well at the pivot point as well. If you look at that, found support there pretty much through the middle of the day for sure. Okay, so moving on to the Nasdaq. So it's still away from that sort of high that I've been mentioning from last year. So 13,558 is that high for April, May, and also it's it's going to be interesting to see if these stock markets can rally anymore. you know, they've performed so well. It's amazing. And I've got support at 12,513 and 11,868. Moving on to the 30-minute, and again, you know, you can see how that pivot point, the market really rejected that all afternoon on Friday, which, you know, gave some great buying opportunities actually. So resistance at 13,331, support at 13,234, and also breakout level lower down at 13,136. Now remember, you know, you can always take pictures of these on your phone or screenshots, you know, just as reminders. You know, the dailies stay in play obviously a lot longer than what the 30-minute ones do. So moving on to the Russell Daily, I've got resistance at 2032, which was from August. I got resistance at 2017, which was just sort of Feb-wise, and then inside that at 1952, that's really sort of the April, May time. And then I've also got another resistance level below that at 1830. Support is 1729 and 1655. Moving on to the 30-minute, I mean, just look at that. How beautiful was that sort of, okay, you know, the Russell, which is the small caps, it broke through the pivot point in the morning, almost got to test S1, but didn't quite get there. And then that afternoon rally, once it got through that R1, it went up and tested R2. And then when the market came back off again, it found support at what was then R1, and then bounce back up again. So, you know, we've got that channel there. Whether it's going to stay in that, not too sure. So on the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 1785 and 1781. I've got support at 1769, but I think that's going to be a breakout level if it should get there, and 1760. So, you know, the currencies, you know, sort of a bit of a mixture of things going on there, but the majority of it's still all about the dollar. However, you know, the pound, the euro, the yen, you know, there's things going on in those countries that are impacting them. It just seems as though there's different metrics and there's different sort of conditions in a variety of countries at the moment. Of course, we've all got that one common thing, our enemy, which is inflation. So looking at the pound here, there's a few gaps on the upside actually with the pound, so I just want to highlight them just in case that dollar does have a bit more weakening this week. So I've got a gap at 130.25, below that 128.92, below that 128.12, and below that 127.43. Below that, I've got a breakout level at 126.58 should it manage to have any more of a rally. On the downside, I've got support at 124.28 and 122.10. Then moving on to the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 126.02 and 125.87. Now I've put support in there at 125.72, but that could easily get broken, and I've got that as a breakout as well. So if it does sort of open below that, then I would expect to see it go a bit lower. Remember, just my opinion though. Okay, so now we're looking at the euro against the dollar. I've got resistance at 114.01 and also 111.31. Support 110.48, 1.0992, 1.0877. Seems amazing, you know, when we think of it, it was down below sort of par earlier. So yeah, good recovery. Now moving on to the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 110.69 and support at 110.03. Now we're just going to take a little look at Bitcoin. A little bit, you know, it sort of was interacting and you know, it had been coming off a little bit. It did find a little bit of a bounce recently. So on the daily, I got 34,465 as a breakout because there's a little gap there. Whether it's going to get up to fill that at some stage, let's wait. Resistance I've got at 30,625 and support I've got at 26,456. Now you can see it's just coming into a little bit of a wedge there. Now on the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 29,840 and also 29,595. Support 29,261 and 29,121. Here's the Nasdaq and Bitcoin. I'm sorry, that should be that's a daily chart I'm showing you there. So Friday they sort of diverged a little bit, so I think it's just going to be a matter of waiting to see what goes on this week. You know, Bitcoin had a little bit of a sell-off. It still finished steady enough, and of course the stocks just had a bit of a boost Friday. Moving on to gold, so I've got resistance at 20.79 and 20.18. 20.79 is pretty much where it got to a high last year. I believe that was 20.78. So, you know, I don't know. It's moved away from that now, so we'll have to wait and see. But support I've got 1983 and 1901. Looking at the 30-minute, resistance at 2001, support 1997 and 1990. So fairly tight there. So, you know, as the week progresses, there's so much data out, especially in the US. It will start to sort of take a direction, I'm pretty sure. Well, as sure as you can be in trading, that is for sure. Okay, so now moving on finally to WTI. On the daily, I've got resistance at 79.70 and 79.06 with support at 73.91. Just remember there will be a OPEC plus meeting, so dare they cut again? We'll have to wait and see on that one. That will be interesting. You know, they obviously can't be that happy with the fact that they cut by over 1 million barrels a day at last meeting and prices are still come all the way back down again. Okay, so finally the 30-minute resistance 79.06, 77.85, 77.13 and 76.92 with support at 75.38 and 74.40. So that ends the analysis for this week. Just want to go through our services, so hopefully, you know, you're probably finding it boring by now if you've watched all 4 of these, but you know, we're just trying to help. That's really what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to give as many traders as much knowledge as possible to help them, you know, because markets are challenging. So, you know, this is our way of helping. Okay, so our daily newsletter. So global news, my views, and fresh chart levels each day. One-day workshops. Now, you know, if you're thinking about turning trading into a career or having it as a second income, find out if trading could be for you just on one of our one-day workshops. You know, I do a trading for beginners course. You'll get a lot of insight, but you know, without committing too much. And then of course, other workshops are for people that have already started trading, but they've got gaps and they want to fill those gaps. So I help with that. Then we've got our our 1 week course. Now on our 1 week course, it's a really good start. It's going to give you those basic foundations that you can build a trading career on. And in that week, if you've got an inner trader, I'm going to help you find it. Now, if you are serious about turning trading into your next career, then our comprehensive accredited masterclass, which is designed to provide you with all that knowledge and all those trading tools that you're going to need to navigate any markets and also in any market conditions and across any asset class. So you know, it's great if you've got sort of lots and lots of sort of diverse ways, styles, techniques that you can use, and then you know that opens up so many opportunities for you. Then trader mentoring. So if you're already trading and you want some help to get to that next level, I can do that. We consult to companies for hedging, foreign exchange and commodities. And then of course trader education, which is a massive part of what we do. We provide that content to individuals, exchanges and brokers. I do webinars each month as well, so keep an eye out for them. They're usually in the evenings at 5 PM UK time. And then, you know, if you're underfunded, then, you know, we can help you with that because one of our partners will offer funded trading accounts from 25k all the way up to $1 million. All you've got to do is just qualify by passing their challenge. And we actually, Symax, we provide a preparation course for that. So we can help you. Can we make you pass? Not necessarily, but what we can do is we can give you the best opportunity possible to pass. Okay, and then if you've got any questions for us, then contact us at info@symaxfintech.com. And if you want to ask anything of me regarding trading, then it's chris.tubby@symax-int.com. I hope you have an amazing week. You know, the sun's starting to shine everywhere a bit more now. It does give you that little bit of more of a feel-good factor. And, you know, as I say, all we're trying to do is help as much as possible. So have a great week and, of course, be lucky.